Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network, your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you. And it is Odin's Day today. It's Wednesday for you all that don't know what Odin's Day is. And I'm with my co-host Randy, and I'm your host Chuck. Tell him what's up, Randy. Say what's up.
Yo, what's up, GeekBeast? Chuck, man, come on. What are we talking about tonight?
So, DC has decided to name their new Superman,
Yeah,
David Cornsweet.
how it's pronounced?
I don't
Because I
know.
messed it up. I don't know. I messed it up. I
Well,
mean,
I think to
yeah, I
play
know how to do a
Superman,
name.
Superman Legacy with Rachel Brosnahan is Lois Lane,
Mm-hmm.
right? Brosnahan. I know that name because I had a coworker with that same last name.
Okay.
David looks just like Henry Cavill.
So a lot of people were saying he looks,
He looks
yeah.
just like Henry Cavill. He's Henry Cavill's little brother. He looks more like Henry Cavill than Chris Hemsworth's brother looks like him. You don't think so?
I mean, he favors Henry Cavill, and maybe that's what they were looking for.
Yeah. They're like, hey, Superman has a look. We're gonna get Henry Cavill's twin brother, his stunt double. We're gonna get a stunt double to play the Superman for him.
Well, it was a little controversy about Henry Cavill not being cast in it. So maybe I don't know, maybe that's kind of what James Gunn was looking for, because he is going to be writing and directing Superman Legacy.
Yeah, we'll see if it's good or not. I mean, and this may not happen. DC may be dead when they release this Blue Beetle movie.
Think Blue Beetle will be good, but I was reading a storyline about it. Outside of its core fans, not a lot of people know who Blue Beetle is.
And we know the president of Warner Brothers is like, yo, we'll cut this thing if it don't have no leg. The Flash is supposed to be the movie to save all of
It
DC.
was. It
It was supposed
was.
to be to save
And
all
I was telling somebody, I feel like James Gunn has a credibility problem, because he was out there pushing it. He was like, yeah,
That's part of the contract, probably too. They
I
probably
know it was, but still, like,
That's just old fashioned PR, man.
I agree, but
They
still,
had to push it, man.
and this is what we got.
I haven't seen it. But everybody, my friends who were like you, DC stands were like, nah, this ain't it.
It
I,
wasn't the worst, but
The other thing too is the phrasing he used was one of the best superhero movies of all
Ever.
time,
Yeah.
ever.
yeah,
So if he went too far, like I
Yeah.
understand you gotta be a PR about it, and you have to, you have to promote it, because they basically have a shit sandwich because of Ezra, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to say it's like the best superhero movie ever, that's a bit much, right?
let's talk about why he did though. If he didn't say that, his whole career is right on this. They could cut his job and kill everything he's supposed to be doing.
They're like,
y'all need to go see this. This is the best show ever.
they're like,
he didn't make it though. He
that
didn't.
was what you say. You say one of the stipulations
no.
in his contract.
They came to him and said, "Yo, if this thing ain't good, we're gonna kill all this shit. You're gonna be unemployed. It's like you started a job yesterday. You're gonna be fired tomorrow if it
Well,
ain't."
just because DC but this is like their third flop. So Black Adam flop.
That's why he says the best superhero movie ever to get the numbers up in it.
Didn't work though, man.
Okay, it wasn't as good as what I said it was, but I needed the ticket sales.
Man, they had Tom Cruise out here talking about it's the best. Stephen King talking about it's the best DC movie or the best superhero movie.
They're like, hey, how can we promote this? He says, give Tom Cruise some money to say it's the best ever. Because they told him, they're like, hey, we're gonna tell you something right now, James Gunn. If Flash flops, you about to be out of a job. You about to be out of a job, James Gunn.
It reminds me of a story. It was like Irv Gotti was telling a story. He said when he was talking about signing DMX, and they was listening to his demo, and he was like, "He's barking, Gotti. If he's barking, he's going to suck." It's like we'll sign him, and if he flops, that's your ass. So that's probably how they went to James Gunn. Was like,
yes, that's exactly how they went to it. And
so James Gunn was like, "It's the best superhero movie ever." And he probably looked at that tape, was like, "Oh shit, did I really?"
but I don't know. David Clarence Sweat could be the best. This may be the best Superman movie ever, but it may not matter because Blue Beetle is gonna kill DC. No, honestly, I'm gonna be honest to God, truth with you. I think Blue Beetle is gonna be the best DC movie we've seen in a long time.
It might be, but the thing is, DC's got a problem with numbers. People are not going to see these movies.
I mean, they released the same movie twice.
You know, that's the problem.
Does that? They had to redo on a movie. Marvel would never redo one of their movies.
Hold on, which one are you talking about?
Justice League.
Oh well,
they did that movie twice.
Well, that was pressure from the
And they followed right up behind it with Wonder Woman 1984.
I actually enjoyed the Snyder cut. The Snyder cut I thought was good. I thought
you're a DC stain.
I can imagine. I am, but I can say when it's a bad movie. And Flash wasn't terrible. It just wasn't living up to the hype.
I haven't seen it. You are a DC stan. You tell me Flash is not living. You used to come on this show like it's the best movie ever.
Well, I do it with Superman movies all the time. Newt from the Ville, I see he's in the chat. We was just arguing about Man of Steel the other day, and I was like, it was great. He was like, it was trash.
You know what is terrible? You know what is terrible? Having a normal shit is not terrible neither. But having diarrhea or being constipated is terrible.
Yeah, they saying it. People, they might not release the Blue Beetle. So
and Aquaman too.
Well, Aquaman 2, they're going to release. They're going to release that one. But maybe
Jason Momoa killed the best villain scene in a series that I've seen in a long time.
Before we go into that, the only thing they're going to say is maybe they'll put Blue Beetle on Max and then release Aquaman.
Maybe they have Vin Diesel and Aquaman 2 to save that movie. But Jason Cornsweat may be the savior for DC.
Maybe.
You know, he's a handsome dude. Hopefully, he can probably act just as good as Henry Cavill. We're not saying Henry Cavill's like Oscar award winning. You know, and James Gunn. Hopefully, James Gunn will write something he wrote for what's his name for Peacemaker.
But see, that's the thing. Superman is not a particularly funny character.
He's nothing. He's nothing. He's vanilla as vanilla.
No, he's my favorite, but
he's vanilla. He's such vanilla.
I'm ignoring you. James Gunn, a lot of his writing is about his humor, like the stuff he did with Guardians.
Flavor. People with flavor. People with flavor. Characters with personality.
You know, I'm still ignoring you. Guardians and Peacemaker. That type of writing doesn't necessarily translate over.
And all those characters have personality, and Superman don't have a personality.
Whatever. I'm ignoring you again.
Personality.
I'm ignoring you, but so.
Even everybody in the office, every white man in the office has a personality. You know who doesn't have personality? Superman.
So again, I'm ignoring you. I don't know if I've ever really heard Superman tell jokes.
I'm on. He got hired straight just because of his jawline. Look at that jawline.
I know it. That jawline's massive. The jawline.
It's just the jawline. Okay, you're hired. You're hired.
Clark Kent is probably like white privilege all the way through his life. He looks like he should be in charge.
Wayne has personality. Batman has personality.
Yeah, no, Superman
has no personality.
He has personality. He's just not.
He's an alien from Kansas.
Clark Kent has personality.
But he's nerdy and
yeah, he's nerdy.
And he's not cool nerdy. Like, this is a geekish network, so we all about the nerdy here. But like, he's awkward nerdy, like weird nerdy. He's playing what he thinks humans are. Huh?
If you're from the farms in Kansas and super nerdy, you wouldn't have no personality neither. Nobody around you can read. Like, look at they got they damn teeth.
But that's why he moved to Metropolis. It was time for him to go to the big city.
With no personality. Introverted self.
So the thing is, does James Gunn know how to write Superman?
Yes. All you gotta do is put
I
some
believe so.
words on paper.
But James Gunn, he's funny.
He gave a personality to a talking tree. It only says one word. So
Has more personality.
he can write. I have high faith in him. Actually.
I think James Gunn can write. I'm saying, can he write Superman?
Yes, he can. All you gotta do is say, I am Superman.
Well, I will say,
I'm running.
you know, he's feeling a lot of pressure because he was like, you know what? I need to write the first DC movie.
I think,
you know, he's like, he probably, somebody else had it, and he's like, you know what? This has to be the first one out of the gate. I need to write this. I need to write this.
I don't know if he,
like the rest of the stuff everybody else can do, but like,
yeah, he's right now watching One Punch Man, watching Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT.
You know
but none of those guys are Superman.
Watching
you know what?
Kaizen. I'm talking about the fight scenes. He's watching them all.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, for that, but I'm talking about like writing Superman as a personality.
Right, shit. Superman, I got to do is make him fly around and be in love with Lois Lane and beat up shit.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
I think you're onto something, Chuck.
That's all you got to do.
Y'all both are haters.
I think you're onto something.
Y'all are
The
haters.
reason why, here's my theory. The reason why he said that Flash was the best superhero movie ever is they had it in his contract that if he says that, they'll let him direct Superman or write Superman.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is make Superman fly around, be faster than a speeding bullet, shoot lasers out his eyes, blow cold ass air out his mouth, and push and stop an airplane from crashing into the ground full of passengers, and chase after this one woman who's basic as shit. Be in love with and pretend to be a reporter sometimes, and he got a hit movie.
Well, I hope it is. I hope Superman's a huge hit.
Is actually get Giancarlo to be Lex Luthor's father and find somebody young and sexy, like not that young, like Shamar Moore to be Lex Luthor. He got it.
Shamar Moore is Lex Luthor. I'll burn the goddamn cinemas down. What you talking about?
What?
Shamar Moore?
Shamar Moore, Lex Luthor. Yeah.
From like the Guiding Light and from the.
It's either him or Tyrese.
Oh, next story.
Or Ben Diesel to be Lex Luthor.
I see
what did you think about the Lois Lane casting? I've never seen Mrs.
Everybody says she's
Marvel.
Great. They say she's a great actress. I never watched it either.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but high praise from her about her.
She's great. She's definitely award winning. She's dope. And I think that's where all the personality is going to be in, because we know Superman or Clark ain't got no goddamn personality.
No, you might be right there. You might be right.
You think Batman will show up?
Shamar Moore from SWAT. That's right, Newt from the VO from SWAT. What's up, baby girl? I got to say, what's
we
up,
are
baby?
not doing. Shamar Moore better not play Lex Luthor.
Shamar Moore play Lex Luthor.
Man.
And we got a hit movie. Everybody and their mama go see that movie.
No.
Carlo be Lex Luthor's father. Everybody go see that movie.
I think Giancarlo would make a great Lex Luthor, but it would remind me too much of The Boys. It would remind me too much of The Boys.
He's too old.
He's too old, I guess.
Lex Luthor has to be almost equivalent to.
Well, Gene Hackman was vastly older than whatchamacallit, than Christopher Reeve.
Shit, dog. We ain't talking about that shit.
That was dope.
Nobody remembers that shit, dog.
I don't remember that shit.
Nobody does remember. Only you do, because you're a fanboy.
Whatever.
I actually like the Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Yes.
They were same age. But whatchamacallit? Kaiser Sose, he played. He was an older Lex Luthor.
Yeah. But we wanted Lex Luthor to be the same age as Superman. You know, so that's
what he was in Smallville. They were roughly the same. Yeah. They were roughly the same age.
When they make him a peeping Tom like they did in these last movies, they made him a peeping Tom on Lois Lane. He can be a peeping Tom again. with Lex Luthor.
This ain't.
He ain't got
So
no personality.
Yeah, I hated the Lex Luthor in Justice League.
Yeah.
What's his name?
oh yeah.
That was
And
bad casting.
What's his name? What's his name? Yeah, Jesse, the guy who played in
Yeah,
that
just yeah, I know you're talking about.
yeah, he was terrible though. He was terrible. But that's not saying much. He didn't have much to work with.
We know.
We shouldn't talk about Justice League or Batman versus Superman ever. In my universe, they don't exist.
Again, Vin Diesel played Lex Luthor.
Vin Diesel.
He'd be like, "Yeah, it's about my family." That line has more personality than all of Superman. I'm gonna get bashing on Superman. Let me move forward. Let's move forward. Let's hope that this casting is going to be great. Lex Luthor should be a very dynamic hero. I mean, a villain in this series. He has to be very smart and cunning.
Is Lex even the villain in this series?
I don't know.
That's not been confirmed yet.
It's who's the damn hero? It ain't Superman. He can't save shit. He can't even save the movie he's in.
Saves all kind of shit. What are you talking
He can't
about?
even save the movie he's in.
What you talking about? Man of Steel was dope and it did well.
Man, it still was dope because all the Dragon Ball Z fights. I hope that James Gunn is watching the shit out of anime right now.
Well, they got that new cartoon, Superman and Lois. It's an anime.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
He better go over to the writing room of Naruto and said, write me some fight scenes and get me doing some Rasagans in my fight scenes. Because Superman can't even fight right by himself. He can't.
A hater.
But makes Lex Luthor, you know what makes Man of Steel so good? The Dragon Ball Z fights.
There's a bunch of things that made it good.
Or the Dragon Ball Z fights what made it good.
Say that's what you liked. I thought a bunch of stuff made it good.
Of course it did. You a fanboy. DC Comics documentary to explore its history and its future. Okay, so HBO has always made amazing documentaries, whether for broadcast TV or for the streaming service, Max. I hate that name. I hate that name. Too. So there's every reason to be excited about the superpower, the DC story, even before I tell the Academy Award nominated filmmaker Leslie Ertz and Emmy nominated filmmaker Mark Catalina co-directed a 3-part series which will explore the comic publisher through the 85 years of history with a truly stunning array of comic writers, artists, luminaries, as well as live action stars, directors, and producers from throughout the DC's long history and pop culture. Do you know what the future is? Amazon's going to buying this property and try to do something with it because James Gunn ain't going to be able to sell it.
I think he can. I
think he can too.
It's a 3-episode documentary, and the 3rd episode is going to air on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Is it?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay,
I'm just saying. By the time they get through with it, they get bought over by Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Amazon. So the 3rd one airs on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that I think Amazon is going to buy Warner's.
He's selling. Looks like he's trying to sell everything for parts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know what needs to be in the Superman movie?
What's that?
Martha. They got to do a whole segment on Martha. They had to Martha.
Since we're not gonna take this serious, I'm leaving. I'm just leaving. I'm just leaving. We're not gonna have serious conversations. I'm not going to indulge. I'm not going to engage.
Martha say Batman's ass.
No. Martha saved Superman. Because Batman was winning.
What did you say?
Since we're not going to have serious conversations, I'm not.
That's best fight since Man of Steel. No, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this documentary. Episode 1, The Hero's Journey. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, Coming of Age. And episode 3, The Better Tomorrow. Now, don't get me wrong. DC has the best villains on history. Their villains are remarkable. They're really good humans that are just fucked up. And I think they do a really good job. They're even some of their heroes outside of Superman are really good because Batman's fucked up. He's exactly how I expect a billionaire to act. He been that motherfucker on the sub that imploded last week.
He does. He does. He acts just like you would expect a billionaire who has some sort of trauma in his life to act. Nah, just a billionaire, just who run the city. He just wild running the city.
Elon Musk was in shape,
right?
Fight. He'd be out there,
right? Absolutely,
being Batman right now.
Absolutely.
He'd be running San Francisco beating up homeless people right now.
Batman's character is in line.
But they do have some really good heroes, especially the Young Justice with all the sidekicks. Those characters were amazing.
Of the Young Justice, I thought it was
those characters are amazing. They have a lot of good characters. Just their two core characters aren't what we expect normal humans to be.
Well, they aren't. They're gods.
They are gods. They are.
Batman isn't a god, but he's like got god-like human abilities.
All the stuff in the godhood.
Yeah. But I mean, the core Justice League characters are all gods.
They're all gods. They are.
They're all Olympians. And I want to say Olympians. They're
people think billionaires are gods in America. You know.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's true.
They worship billionaires like gods. So.
And they're all some sort of royalty of like meta, right? Like yeah. So
Wonder Woman is definitely a goddess.
Absolutely.
I think that's the. I mean, that was the reason why Marvel became way more successful than DC. I mean, among a bunch of different reasons, but Marvel's characters were just like regular people that
they're humans, right?
They had this, so they had flaws. They all kind of,
abilities.
So people relating to him more. They're like, yeah, I can relate to Peter Parker. He's just a nerdy kid like me, in high school, and
right.
And then it's harder to
You can't relate to Wonder Woman. She's a goddess queen, right?
Yeah.
Aquaman is the king.
Yeah.
He's a fish who's a king under the sea, right? Batman's a billionaire.
As a superpower.
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk to fish. I can send an orca to whoop your ass. I'll send an orca to whoop your ass.
But he's a king. He's like super.
It's happening. Orcas are kicking people's ass now.
He's the king of Atlantis, I mean, and nobody can relate to Superman because he's like...
I think this documentary will be interesting. I'll watch it.
I'm quite excited. I think Superpowered is going to be a really good documentary. And what makes it even bad is DC has some of the best writer and artists in the so they focus it on comics and not the movies and the animated.
But that's the thing. It's like DC's getting a bad name. The comics are fine. It's the animated versions are fine. Some of the latest ones haven't been as great, but they're fine. It's the live action, action movies.
Is what happens when the president of a company consolidates all the animation studios into one house, and everybody's confused on what they're working on. Yeah. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing right now.
So that's the problem. That's why it's the DCU. The DCEU is the problem. It's not all of the DC properties.
No, Superman and Batman are the problem. They can't grow outside of them. They have not learned how to grow
from a live action standpoint.
Yes, from a live action standpoint.
Yeah, live action standpoint.
It was amazing in animation.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of reason why they were, because Wonder Woman did really, really well for them.
Yeah, the first one did.
The first one did. So that's part of the reason why they probably lost faith in Patty Jenkins, because the second one did really bad, and they were hoping that Wonder Woman would get them outside of the Batman and Superman, or at least create a triumvirate of really successful franchises.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think James Gunn can do that. I think James Gunn can do what Kevin Feige's done.
I think so too.
He can. I mean,
he has some hits like Peacemaker, and it's live action television. Peacemaker is amazing.
Suicide Squad was amazing. I just went back to rewatch it.
I really like Suicide Squad.
It's so good.
Yeah, very funny.
It's just the problem is he's launching with a hero that's quite vanilla. That's white paper. He's any man. He's every man, actually. Shout out to Defunct. Defunct said, ironic that Leslie Ewerks, being one of Disney's family historians, her grandfather is of Ewerks, Walt's technical wizard. That's true. They have him working on it. Cause James Gunn got to save his damn job because the Flash failed. He's like, who the fuck can we get up in this movie? Y'all gonna make me lie about this movie? I'm about to lie about this movie out here.
That's what Rodney said, though. He went too far. He's like, when you talking to your boys and y'all talking shit, then he just say some crazy shit. You're like, what are you talking
My
about?
girlfriend look like Holly Berry.
Right. Like, she cute, right? She pretty, but she ain't Holly Berry. And James goes like, it's the best Superman, it's the best hero ever.
Mayberry. She don't look like Holly Berry, like she came from Mayberry.
And James Gunn got on his shit. He was like, it's the best, it's a superhero movie ever. And everybody looked, the room just got quiet and looked. Like, oh, what did you just say, James? And yeah, it just couldn't.
It's gonna be great. But airs July 20th is when this documentary starts there. This 3-part documentary, the Superpowered, the DC story. I'm quite excited for it. Hopefully this lasts. Hopefully that it actually restarts the DCEU. Hopefully they have some elements in it to get people excited about the DCEU. Because the DC comics are great. That's what makes
the comics are great. The animated stuff is great.
It's just the live action stuff.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus, y'all just keep dropping the ball.
That's why they brought him on.
Yeah.
Brought him on.
Yeah, that was
his. Blue Beetle, I think this is one of his projects he's taking over. So hopefully he put the Blue Beetle project together well.
Blue Beetle was before him. He didn't do the Blue Beetle.
I'm laughing at New DeVille's comment, a billionaire vigilante, sociopath in deep need of therapy. He didn't do Blue Beetle, but he's at the company when Blue Beetle's getting released. So he can go back into post and changes to it.
But that's actually one of the problems with DC. They do too much post work. And then it has a tendency to make the films look disjointed and not cohesive.
Yo, Twitchy Sauce came in and said, I found the writing for Doom Patrol to be mostly okay. The cyborg component felt strange. Did you feel that he hit with the rest of the crew? I think so. Doom Patrol, I love Doom Patrol. I even love their TV show. I enjoy Titans. Like, I enjoyed their shows.
Yeah, I enjoy all Titans versions. Like, Teen Titans Go is one of my
greatest shows ever made. He needs to bring that whole entire writing crew over.
Teen Titans Go is amazing.
This is the problem we also have, Randy. Who's writing the Superman movie?
James Gunn, I thought.
He can't write anything. They're in the writer's strike.
Oh. Yeah.
Can't write anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we don't. The way they've said it is he's going to write it.
Once this film is already written, he can't do any rewrites to it if he shoots it.
From my understanding, it has not been written yet.
We'll find out. We'll find out in 2026 with this movie.
I thought it was 2025.
Man, everybody's strike ain't gonna be over to 2025, dog. What are you talking about? Because once the
writer's strike is looking like it's gonna last quite a while.
We're gonna have AI. AI is gonna take over by then.
I mean, the SAG strike might happen like by this Friday, actually.
Yeah.
So
the SAG strike might come into fruition too.
On Friday.
Yeah.
On July 1st. Independence Day holiday. Damn Americans want their freedom. So it's gonna be interesting. DGA can't strike. It's in their contract. They can't strike.
But they already agreed to the terms. DGA did. So, and they're kind of getting a little bit of flack there because they're not really standing in solidarity with the WGA. Whereas SAG is.
The PGA striking neither.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid. They don't.
Yeah, they get paid. They're not striking. They got that royalty money. They're not striking.
No, they will strike. If PGA strikes, the whole industry shuts down.
That's not happening. They're gonna take care of them, and they get money.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Peter Griffin coming in some ways, Lois is more of an important cast than Superman. Absolutely,
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think for a James Gunn writing style, she is more important.
Lois has to carry a lot of their interactions because she doesn't have much emotion unless life and death. Exactly.
No, I agree with you. Well, that's why I was saying I don't know if James Gunn is but I think Lois, he'll write the hell out of Lois.
James Gunn can write the shit out of interactions.
Yeah. But that's going to mostly fall on Lois.
But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he made Groot entertaining.
The one thing too is he actually has a lot of heart.
Yeah,
in his scripts. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, as funny
yeah,
and silly as it is, it has a lot of heart.
it does have a lot of heart, and the action
Yeah,
are really good.
yeah.
Like
His actions are really
they're
good.
going into the base on the third one,
So
and
in that regards, like I
they're
think he's gonna try to, and I think okay, this is like 12-year-old or even younger old me. The very first Superman, when you start seeing him fly, like dude, you're just like you have a sense of wonder, right?
Mhm.
And you get that John Williams soundtrack going, you
Oh
see him
yeah,
flying around, and it's like it's just a sense of wonder. So if he captures a sense of wonder of like I believe a man can fly, and then gets all the other stuff right, I mean,
yeah.
it's very very possible he's gonna do a really really good job, and I hope he does.
Hope he does too. I
Yeah.
love James Gunn. I love the character Superman. I love DC characters. So I am pulling for it 100%.
Look forward to. I want it to win. As much as I harass you about it, I do want it to be good. Because right now, Marvel is tiring me out. Jesus, they got me superhero fatigued over here. I saw Marvels is more a movie about heart and fun than about a bunch of superheroes beating up on bad guys.
Whatchamacallit
He,
didn't do that well when it premiered this week.
did you hear James Gunn? Speaking of James Gunn and Marvel stuff, did you see his comments like just this last few days about how he said that
Lazy.
superhero movies have gotten a little lazy?
They have gotten lazy.
Yeah,
I
just the
remember
writing and stuff. Like I mean, I kind of agree. You know,
it goes into what Quentin Tarantino was saying. People don't come to the movies because of the actors. They come to see superheroes. It doesn't matter who Thor is. They'll
but
come
yeah, at the heart of it too is like you just have to have a really really good story,
at the really good.
right? You have to have a really really good story. You have to something that's like outside of the box, something that's compelling. That's so we'll see. See, again, it's another like him putting his mouth out there, right? So he says that, then what if it turns out that like all these DC movies are just more of the same, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. I think Henry Cavill is probably the best Superman we've ever seen.
I love Henry
I
Cavill.
love Henry Cavill as Superman.
A little bit.
I mean, as bad as and as flawed as the movies, or I really liked him as
He
Superman.
did the best he could with the script he had.
Yeah, I agree.
He did.
I thought he did a great job. And I still feel like if James Gunn wasn't looking for a younger Superman, I feel like Henry Cavill would have remained
And
as Superman.
I think he should bring that back.
I didn't think about it. Think about it. I don't think I've ever. Almost everything I've seen him in, I liked. I like a lot.
Henry Cavill?
Witcher, Witcher, the Mission Impossible movie. Like,
Enola Holmes. He was great as Sherlock Holmes.
I didn't see that, but I heard he was good in
really
it.
good. He was great as a Sherlock Holmes.
He actually literally kills it. I think they need to bring in Robert Pattinson as Batman, and bring that Batman, but bring him in as a Batman for this new DCU.
Put him in the same timeline or the same universe.
Timeline.
That Batman was a lot dark.
Don't bring that one. Don't bring that.
Okay, just bring him in as a Batman
Bring
character.
that actor in as a Batman. I think Robert Pattinson, he's quirky, he's awkward. He looks like the type of guy that needs some therapy, who has billions of dollars.
So Defunct says love Don Cheadle's big scene in Secret Invasion today, which that's not necessarily spoilers because you see him in the trailer. And then Twishy Sauce says all the multiverse stuff isn't necessarily helping with the fatigue. I agree.
I agree.
I agree totally with that. And Peter Gurn says, I'm still a Christopher Reeve old school, but Henry was right up there. Witcher 3 tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, it's true. You're right. Witcher 3 is like soon.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think the multiverse is not helping because they're doing a horrible job explaining the multiverse.
What,
I mean,
DC or MC or Marvel?
MCU, Marvel's doing a horrible job with the multiverse. Like I posted the Eternal tweet that came out. Like nobody's addressed a damn a Titan in the middle of the ocean. Nobody's addressed that yet from the Eternals. There's so many things they're throwing all these things in, and nobody's talking across the universe or saying, you remember that thing that happened in the middle of the ocean with those weird looking creatures? Nobody's addressing any of this stuff.
Did we though get spoiled from the previous phases and then to wrap up with the end game? And maybe that's not the goal. It's to necessarily make sure everything is wrapped up in this universe.
Tell me that it's in different universes. Then these people are not going to talk about it. Give me a sign that the Eternals is not in the same universe as Spider-Man, and is not in the same universe as the Doctor Strange.
Because maybe we feel like everything should wrap up like we got with Ink. At least I do sometimes.
Tell me that Spider-Man and this Spider-Man with Doctor Strange is in a different universe than Eternals, than it is with Agatha, that it's in a different timeline than this Marvel in the Marvels. Because right now I'm totally confused. Why I know
No, I hear that. I hear that.
because even in the Marvel films, they hinted at each other. They dropped hints to each other. There's no breadcrumbing. There's zero breadcrumbing going on right now. And you know what's doing the most breadcrumbing? Damn Sony property called Across the Spider-Verse.
What other than Miles, what other how are they saying how are you saying they're into are you saying in its own universe?
The only
Okay, in its own
not
universe.
breadcrumbing. Nothing. She-Hulk didn't breadcrumb anything really.
Nah.
The Scarlet Witch didn't
Well,
breadcrumb.
it did. It had the Hawk in it,
Yeah, it had the Hulk in it and it had
and wasn't Nick Fury in the end of that?
let's do a scene because we're paying damn Samuel Jackson a whole lot of damn money.
But so it did a little bit.
Yeah, so there's definitely some continuity issues arising.
Thank you, Twitchy Sauce. That's why we need content commentators like you guys to figure it out and explain it all to us. I'm gonna break it all down. We're gonna have the Marvel show. We're gonna have a Marvel show in the
You're gonna go crazy then when you see the Flash. If you think Marvel's had some interesting interpretations with the multiverse, when you see the Flash,
go see the Flash tomorrow then, or Friday.
I'd be interested to hear your commentary on it
because I
because
want to see it. It's one of the movies I want to see. Hell, I may go see it tonight. I don't know.
it's interesting.
I would go see it. I had to write these reports. I would go see it.
And how if DC is trying to introduce that element, how are they going to do it?
I agree with New from the View. I haven't really breadcrumbed anything since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had all these shows. They didn't breadcrumb anything.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Just drop hints.
I agree with you.
Like why didn't when you introduced what's her name? Little Marvel girl. Damn it. Miss Marvel.
From Miss Marvel.
Why didn't you breadcrumb the guy that shoots arrows? I just forgot. We're brain farting over here. I'm brain
talking about Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Why didn't you talk about Hawkeye? They're both in New York. She's in New York.
Yeah.
I thought
she kind of did. She was talking about like the Avengers. She's a big fan of the Avengers, right?
Big fan of the Avengers. She's a big fan of Samuel Jackson. But and she's.
But I thought with Kate Bishop, like she and old dude, he showed up, like he didn't contact nobody from the Avengers. Like, hey, I'm gonna be in town.
That's what I thought too. Like, why didn't Kamala Khan run into Kate Bishop somewhere in the episode? Just have her run into her. Like, yo, I heard about you. I just came out to see what's up with you.
It's a few things.
Or Kamala Khan do something and
even with the Devil and the Dinosaur, like she was opening up portals. Why couldn't we got
open up portals?
Yeah, she was like, why couldn't we got like an image of Kang, something, right? Like we could have got something. Like you seen Kang flying by or something, right? We could have.
And they're talking about doing a live action version of Lunella, and I'm like, they're gonna bring her into this universe. First of all, I want to see who you're gonna cast for her. I would say Marcia could do it, the girl from Blackish.
But she also have Ironheart too, right?
Yeah. Ironheart in here.
And then Newt DeVille said, yeah, they're gonna form the Young Avengers eventually. Kate Bishop and Kamala Khan. Yeah. So, but yeah, it would make sense to like introduce it there, right? Start introducing it a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. It's got a lot of cameos, a lot of crossovers,
and that could be economic too. I don't know, but then again, Marvel's got more money than God, so like money should never be a big.
I agree with you, Newt from the Ville. Sky Jackson would be a good Noella. She would crush it.
So
You have to bring somebody young because she has to be 13 years old. You have to bring a young
Yeah,
girl.
you gotta bring a young girl.
You can't bring her 15.
You can't have no 20-year-old girl trying to play 14 to. Yeah, you gotta have a 13-year-old girl.
13 years old.
Absolutely.
You know, and she just has to be badass. She's just badass, really smart.
Riri could have came. It's a lot of things. There were opportunities they could have had. Like they're both scientists. Riri could have came to the school. Like that would have been dope, man.
They could have had Shuri show up.
Yeah, Shuri show up, or like she go on a college visit and Riri's there. Like it's there were things they could.
Opportunities they can just cross.
There were opportunities that they could have.
Opportunities. There are. And I hope I hope James Gunn said this is what they're doing wrong for this second book of Marvel.
Well, they're all supposed to tie in together. When he laid out his vision, he said the TV, animated, and everything were supposed to be together.
Sky's 21. I guess she is 21 years old. I thought she was like 13 or 14.
We got to cast a 13-year-old.
She looks young. She looks young though. You look at Sky.
She got to be a 13-year-old.
You can't though, because if there's any adult situations or alcohol on the screen, you can't have her in the scene. It's against the rule.
I thought the only thing you couldn't show like any sort of like sexual things.
Can't have alcohol and stuff on the scene if they're minors.
Then why they? Okay, I'm about to say in The Wire they did. And
none of them were real minors in real life. All of those.
No, they were minors when it first came out. The first season, yeah, they were minors.
No, they weren't. I think
they were minors.
Oh, they were 18, 19.
And Michael B. Jordan was like 13 when The Wire first came out.
He was in high school.
Yeah, he's a minor.
He might have been. But
yeah.
That's drugs, but the rules changed, Randy. The Wire came out 20 years ago, Randy.
It's true. I just didn't know that those are the rules.
Wire came out 20 years ago. They used to show titties in every movie in the 80s too, Randy. That didn't need titties. You watch Caddyshack, a movie about golf, and they had titties in it.
But what I'm saying is, I didn't think that like if you had alcohol or anything in the scene, and it doesn't have to be real alcohol.
Yeah, but I think there's rules against that now. You can't have smoking, alcohol, or supreme violence. There's a lot of things. There's so many rules because y'all's parents.
I get it. You should protect children. I get it. You should protect children. Yeah. What?
Y'all soft.
Nah, man. Hollywood was wilding back in the day, son. They was wilding.
Y'all soft, dog.
You listen to Drew Barrymore talk about her career as a kid. Like, damn.
Yeah, it was wild.
And her parents were in the industry. Like, damn.
Listen to Miley Cyrus talk about her career. That was not too long ago.
So I'm like, damn. Y'all messed up people, man.
Yeah, that's true. They were messed up people. I guess we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this one story because I think this is a good story. Among Us animated series is in the work at CBS Studios from Infinity Train creator Owen Dennis. If you know anything about Charles Babb, Infinity Train was my shit. Oh my God. The best 3 seasons of television on HBO Max. Then they decided to push it off the network because HBO Max.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Owen Dennis is an amazing creator. I would tell you, if you haven't watched Infinity Train, I think it's on Hulu now. Watch Infinity Train. It is amazing. But now they have Among Us animated series. Man, I'm quite excited for this. The studio CBS is making an Among Us series. I don't know what they're going to do with this. It's about a bunch of people that go around on a spaceship, and one of them's a killer, and you kill them to get the judge and get put off the ship. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I know this is not for kids.
Right. It sounds like Survivor or something. It's Squid Game in space.
It's like one person's an imposter. They're like an alien or something. They're a killer,
two, depending on like the size of the lobby, but there's at least 2 imposters, and then you have to go around killing everybody, and then everybody else has to vote on who they think the imposter is and vote them off.
They don't get
they're on a spaceship, all that stuff, right? And if you're not familiar with it, which I'm pretty sure, Among Us blew up during the pandemic because that was like the #1 game everybody streamed, and it basically made the careers of all these streamers, like offline TV,
Randy,
What's that?
Me, Anthony, Centel, and Courtney all played together. and we
It's a lot of fun to play and a lot of fun to watch too.
Tell's son was murking us.
Yeah,
He man, I was like, vote Cairo off, vote Cairo off.
yeah, because you basically sit there and lie and try to like blame it on other people and
Like, I'm not the
like,
imposter.
yeah, yeah. So this could be potentially really huge because they made Among Us. There's a lot of Among Us fans. It's not as popular now because they played it like a lot during the pandemic, but
Basically, King's the thing. It's basically Stephen King's the thing.
Okay.
they have a VR version of Among Us.
I played. That's what we play. We play it as a production or as a form. Sometimes we have meetups and we all just play Among Us in VR. And you can play with people on PC and console.
Yeah, it's cross platform. It looks like a lot of fun, man.
It's it's a lot of fun.
So this could be a lot of fun. I mean, if they do it right, it could be a lot. Right, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. I mean, it was like every episode somebody like there's like a new imposter, and
Yeah. How do they do this?
Yeah, how are they going to do this?
I can see them doing it. They could pull it off on like Adult Swim.
And that's my
but it's gonna be
Well, the way they kill in the game, it's comical. It's not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like super. It's not graphic. It's
Yo.
See tentacle come out, then the character's dead. He split in half.
Yeah.
Finding and like that's where the word sus comes from.
Yeah.
Like
Orange is sus.
Yeah, Orange is sus. He's sus. He's sus.
It was funny. I mean, especially when we're talking about this, like one of the biggest Among Us streams was when AOC played with Pokemon and Hasanabi, with all the offline TV people, with all of them. She and the other congresswoman from Minnesota, I forgot her name. They joined an Among Us lobby with all these streamers, and it was like a get out and vote sort of like promotion. But boy, they had millions of people watching, dude. Millions of people were watching. It was crazy, and it was so much fun because they were like going around killing a congresswoman, in this game and stuff, and it was hilarious. If you ever get a chance, like look at like Disguised Toast. He got really, I mean, he was already famous, but he got really, really famous because he was like kind of known as like the Among Us guy. Because they used to have all these like crazy lobbies with like all these big name streamers where like even like Ninja was playing and Tim the Tap Man. It was during the pandemic. It was like nothing, where everybody's in lock in. So everybody's watching it. And it's just like, yeah. So I can see this to be really, 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 really big.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Okay. Good stuff.
I'm so excited for it. So I'm ready to get that out of the Among Us game. I'm like, okay, Among Us TV show. I wonder if it's gonna be like every week is a different show. It's probably gonna be like Space Dandy, where he dies in every episode, but they put the new Space Dandy up every episode, or Aeon Flux, how she died in like every episode, and they have an episode that's just it's those single story per episode on how whoever's it is doing what they do. I'm quite excited to see what they're gonna happen with the Among Us TV show. And then knowing it come out of the creator of Infinity Train, who actually spread 3 seasons of the most obscure thing where people go on this train and the train runs forever. And you have a number over your head to let you know your ranking. And every cart has a number to it, but nobody can actually get to the front of the train. Then somebody did. Then there's so much going on in Infinity Train. It's brilliant writing. So, Randy, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Everybody in the chat, if you haven't seen Infinity Train, go watch Infinity Train.
God, there's so much content out there. So much good stuff, man.
It's so good. So good. With that, I think we're going to close the show. We don't have binge-worthy today because Silo, the last episode, comes out on Friday. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah, the 5th.
The 5th. Okay, we'll see you next Wednesday.
After you have your barbecue on the 4th, the next day, join us for GeekBeast and Bingeworthy.
It isn't available. You're right. Twitchy Sauce is not available on HBO Max, but I think it went somewhere else. I think it's streaming somewhere else.
Where? What are you talking about?
Infinity Train.
Oh, okay.
I think it may be streaming somewhere else. You can buy it.
Was this a part of Zaslav's cutting content from HBO Max?
Sad. Because the third seasons and the characters from different seasons cross over and see each other. Oh, it's so good. It's such good story writing. But anyway, so next Wednesday, July 5th, after the Independence Day in America, we will be back to talk about Silo, and that's a fitting series to end to start the 4th of July with, because it's about people trying to get their freedom, actually.
The rebellion.
The rebellion. So this is an interesting series. And we'll come back with that. And
this week we'll be back Friday for happy hour. So tune in Friday for happy hour.
And Friday for happy hour. And next weekend, me and Randy are going to BlurredCon.
Right.
Streaming live from the floor at BlurredCon in DC.
Yeah, man.
He's going to dress up probably and convince him to dress up as a wizard pimp, because this is called Fade Out, is the name for the show. There's a lot of fairies. And for y'all that didn't know, fairies are very African. And so it's going to be Fade Out. Cree Summers is going to be there.
Yeah, man.
We'll have Freddie from A Different World, and she played a whole lot of animated characters.
Yeah, her voice acting resume is stellar.
Fire.
Absolutely. So yeah, we doing. I'm excited about it. We're doing BlurredCon.
We'll be there, coming from the floor. You know,
Can I say Versace shirt time? I'm gonna have to wear my Versace shirt again, man. I'm gonna have to show you.
So we will be there. We'll be streaming from the floor, and I'm probably going to do some recruiting for some shows. We got some show ideas that are probably worthy to recruit from. And for y'all that didn't know, Blurred is Black Nerds. However, when you go to the convention, it is the warmest place with a great mixture of people.
Cool.
Yeah, people from all ethnic groups there celebrating, having a good time, doing an electric slide in the middle of the conference floor.
Yeah, and this is going to be my first con. So
this is Randy's first con, you guys.
Yeah, man.
Randy's gonna go wild out, man.
Wild out.
He's gonna wild out.
City. He's throwing dollars everywhere. He's gonna be a pimp wizard. He's gonna be a pimp wizard.
You should come back with a bunch. You should buy a bunch of art and just put it behind you, Randy.
Right, Randy.
Especially replace that Detroit Pistons one.
That was ever. That's eternal, baby. That's like the smell. Yeah, it's eternal.
Yeah.
We'll get him replaced. We'll get him replaced.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Yes, yeah, get some dope art. Support them artists alley, man.
So we're gonna order that song and get some art. Newton DeVille said BlurredCon is Rack City for Randy. It is. That's what it is for him. So we'll be at BlurredCon next weekend as well. We'll see y'all that following Monday if we're not exhausted. I have to fly back across the country, but I'm quite excited for this. It's my first BlurredCon since 2012, I think.
Okay. So that's a decade. You're over a decade, yeah.
So BlurredCon in DC, the original BlurredCon. I went to the one in New Orleans maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I actually spoke on a panel, the one in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And next year we'll be in BlurredCon, actually podcasting from the floor.
Looking forward to it.
So with that being said, good night, everybody. And we'll see y'all on Friday for happy hour. Peace.
Peace.